the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra-biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.
The East is where we're from. The 12 tribes of Israel.
Shalom, shalom.
In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape, we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went.
12 tribes of Israel, let's go.
The 12 tribes of Israel. That's who we be, Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans, our highest gathering Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us. At gunpoint.
Shalom, 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 brothers. I'm Elder Rawchaa of the Gathering of Christ Church here with Elder Lawya. Sorry for the interruption, Elder Lawya. And I know there's no bother on your side when I come in.
God.
I had you, Elder Lawya, come in and started. I wanted you to deal with tonight. But something just got under my skin, and I couldn't do it. Right?
Yes, sir.
Something got under my skin, and when it happened, out of nowhere, I said, you know what? That's the Most High. I was about to eat dinner, relax, and just take the night off. I gave you the topic as far as civil unrest, and I thank you, Elder Lawya, for going into it, or beginning, you was about to go into it.
Just getting started. Yes, sir.
Yes, and thank you. But the Spirit of the Most High just stirred in me. And I'm like, you know what? I made some kebabs or whatever the case is. I did my own brand of checker French fries, because I don't know what's in the checker ones, but I make them real nice. And I ate half a kebab, and I said, you know what? It's time to go. The Most High stirred something in me with this topic. Shamal sent me a video, and I looked at it. And when he sent me the video, I wiped my face off. You know what I mean? I took this toothpick. I did what I had to do. You know? I looked in the mirror real quick and said, okay, nothing in my teeth. Came up, and I wrapped the Mitri on with intent. I washed my hands, Elder Lawya, and I looked in the mirror and I went nice and slow, right? Had Dimitri ready, and you received the text.
Yes, sir. Yes, I did.
You received the text, and
yes, sir.
I apologize. I know I had you ready to go with what you needed to go into. I know you was ready, but I'm sure it will apply.
It's all good.
All right. I'm like, whoa. You know what I mean? I cracked my neck and did that thing. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what? Let's go. Civil unrest, enemies within. Now, of course, I'm going to make an announcement on the Academy and all that. And I seen you was talking about the guests we had, and thank you, the Academy was outstanding. But I'm putting those announcements to the other side, for later right now. Hit the like button. Brothers and sisters, hit the like button. Let everyone know we're here. We're going to tell you everything that's going down in the earth right now. You would think we had a window into the future, as we do, the Bible. And this script that's going on right now was exactly what I told y'all last summer was going to happen. Almost, a matter of fact, 100% on point. Did I not tell you that the Democrats was letting what? An invasion go inside the country, which was systematically planned by both parties. If you do it to the Democrats do it, then the Republicans can blame the Democrats. And now they come with the solution. I said they are allowing an invasion. No one allow illegals and people without papers into their country unless the country is getting invaded. Didn't I tell you all that? And I said when he's coming in with a strong hand, and it's going to wipe out most situations. And now you got the people over in California with what? With protests. The same people, let me tell you, I believe, and I got the right to believe, that are behind the protests when it comes to Black Lives Matter, which is DNC and the rest, are behind stirring up these particular protests. Right? Civil unrest, which gives the government the full power to bring in armies. Exactly like I said it would happen. But there's something else going on. Here's a war that's been going on for thousands of years, Elder Lawya. For thousands of years. And now it's coming to an apex. It's coming to what? It's coming to a crescendo. And what am I talking about here? They're stirring sentiments on either side of what? The split between Israel and Judah. The 10 tribes and the blacks in America who are from the tribe of Judah, they have played us against one another through migrant warfare. Through migrant warfare, here it is now, black people are saying, Americans, Judas are saying, you know what? This is not my fight. And you know what? It isn't. But the politics and the structure of it made it that way, where we would have so much resentment with them pushing others on us that we would tell them, you know what? There's no help for you. And then on the other hand, you got the immigrants on the other side, which are our brothers. A lot of them are looking at us saying, hey, when are y'all going to vouch for us? You've went through injustices. Why aren't you standing for us anymore? But I'm going to tell you this. For years, the enemy been playing it on the other side. They've been financing them so that they could hold their heads up high with pride to look down on us intentionally, falling for Esau's program to come into America and look at their brothers as less than. They stirred the pot on one side against us, and now our brothers came in and thought that they had what? An upper opportunity over us, and began to what? Boaster and brag about that in front of us, even though we died in every war, even though our blood, spilled for every war in this country. We built this country from the ground up. Not that we should be respected for that, because it was part of the curse, but there was a level of disrespect unwarranted. And they knew, and Esau is just running from one side to the other, stoking a conflict between Israel and Judah, while they stand idly back and watch us all get destroyed. On the top of that, our representation politically have totally betrayed our people. Totally betrayed our people politically. So I'm going to talk about this today. Where am I going? When I say totally betrayed our people, do you think it's a coincidence in the midst of all this chaos that in every major area our people have any political power, there's a black woman in position? Now, do I have anything against our black women? No. My mama, I love my mama. May the Lord bless her soul. I love the only sister the Most High blessed me to have. Okay, I love our women. But when I started going into these scriptures, I started to realize something that I can no longer ignore, and we cannot ignore it either. And I'm going to pose that question, because when you get some people put in position with an axe to grind against their own men, what will be the outcome politically? And even if it's subconscious, that there's an underlying resentment against who look like you, as a man, it'll show in its policy. And the Bible tells us at the very end, through Satan's policy, he shall destroy many. Policy is politics. And you would think with the representation that we have in America that there will be someone in position for the black man. So don't complain about what's going on with everybody running over and there's total chaos and no one to protect you. When you was in position to make policy, you did nothing to bolster the warrior class that would protect you at the very end. And I need y'all to think about that. Every nation understands that they need a warrior class. Every nation understands this. And we have an enemy within. You get these people who are just high on power and glad they got a position they never thought they would have otherwise. Only glad to be there, simple as the days old, selling their people out and not realizing the inconsequences of it. When I went last week, Saturday, Elder Lawya, into Eve's burden, what I didn't address, Elder Lawya, in Eve's burden, that I'll probably drop this coming Saturday. Not Eve's burden. Jezebel's infiltration.
Right.
I believe, and I'm glad Eve repented. When you go into the different books in the extra biblical text, guess what? Eve repented. But you know what Satan wanted Eve to be? You know why he gave Eve this fruit? He wanted her to be what Jezebel became. And that's what they have politically representing our people in all these inner cities. And it's no wonder we being overran by Babylonian East Indians, Asians, and everybody, because these other nations understand that there's an underlying resentment in some of the women they're putting in position. And I can tell you this, you know, Esau, Amalek, is cherry picking the women he put in position to make sure that they will be down with utterly eradicating their own people. They ask certain questions. And if they see you're family oriented, if they see that you're submissive, that you would have your man lead you, 9 times out of 10, they'll push you to the side and go find someone else. So it's not like there's no representation of good women. Esau just don't pick these women. They want to make sure these women have underlying a serious resentment against men, problems with men. They can be witches, they can be lesbians, they can be anything but what God said a woman should be, and Amalek will give them a high political position. And guess what? Our children have always been in trouble because of this. It's just that, man, we being so naive, thinking that a woman can't overpower us based on our brute strength. Folks, we've been what? We've been totally ignorant to this. Ignorant to what? Let me go here real quick before I start this. And thank you, Elder Shamar. You got me I was about to lay down and Bishop Shamar just got me. He sent me that video and the Most High said, go. Elder Lawya, this is what we've been sleeping on. Revelation 17, when it talks about the harlot that sit on many waters. We've been sleeping on the fact that that woman that sit on many waters is a woman. Keep in mind, when there's a man who seek to destroy or can oppose another man, we're already in defense, knowing that what? If a man come against me, one of us may leave the room alive. So automatically, there's a defense mechanism there when it comes to a man. It doesn't exist with a woman. And women know it. That's why they'll say things to men that a man can't say to a man. They'll do things to men that they know if another man did, it would mean warfare. And they'll get away with it the rest of their lives unchecked. But if there's no humility and fear of God in that woman, this is her holding the golden cup. And that's the piece we've been sleeping on for a long time. We were sleeping on the fact that he was like, nah. Satan was like, nah, I never came to the man to take down empires. I've always used the weaker vessel. Eve, anyone? It's just that Eve got back under order with that God of his, that God of Adam. If only she could have become Jezebel. Why am I going here? Because everything we're seeing that's affecting our people negatively, Esau have put Jezebel in position to push all the legislation that leads to the destruction of the children of Israel. So that we cannot claim, hey, it's the white man. They cherry pick certain women that they know are dealing with some level of resentment against men and or evil. And they use that as a political football. So, and how did this come into the immigrants and all that? Who do you think was in position getting paid and allowing all these people from other countries to get in for a pat on the head while their children are reading on a 6th grade level? Only to claim, well, this is what equality looks like because I'm a black woman. To hell with my nation, to hell with my family, to hell with the future of who we are as a people and everything we bled and died for, only so that I can get noticed as a black woman. Why am I going here? I don't want to hear nobody out there claiming, Elder Lawya, going forward, out there claiming that the white man this and the white man that after what I'm going to show tonight. I don't want anyone to talk about the white man unless you're going to also include his helper. Straight out. And this is how Esau does it. So that he can hit and hide his hands, he'll use the enemy within. They put these people in position and then chaos ensues. I don't want to hear nothing about the white man unless people are going to tell us about the white man's helper. Because the Bible tells us right here, about the whore that sit on many waters, the whore of Babylon. That there'll be a spirit of a woman infecting the earth. Sitting on many waters, would be down with many lovers. And the spirit of that came directly out of feminism, like I told y'all earlier. Gloria Steinem, a Jewish woman, stated what? That black women created the feminist movement. And you know what? At one point, Elder Lawya, we was like, hold up, you lying. Black women didn't create this. That's a white woman thing. That's a Jewish thing. That's what everybody was saying. But you know what? When she stated this, there was no pushback. There was no pushback by our sisters when she publicly came out and said there would be no feminist movement without the black woman. What do they know about our women we don't? And I need sisters to answer that question, not men. What do the establishment know about our sisters that we don't? Because when Gloria Steinem, this alleged CIA agent, used to infiltrate us, our people, our women, with an issue that had nothing to do with us. When she made that statement, no black women pushed back. So obviously, we've been naive as men. And they, the Jewish white woman and the white man, know more about our women than we do. What got me stirred up, Elder Lawya? I need you to check out this representation right here. And thank you, Elder Rawchaa, for going over this. We're at 2,000 people. Hit the like button. You got these clowns parading as politicians or representations of our people. The Bible says through policy, Satan would use policy to destroy many. And you got these clowns parading as politicians, claiming to represent us, destroying our people. So let me tell you, if the white man, listen, just say if the white man was the devil like people are claiming, would he need to appear with what we have before us right now? Would he have to show himself? If he can get enemies like this to represent our people? What do we have here, Elder Lawya? This is a senator. Now, how does she get in that position? Who have no idea? She could never represent anything that our people stands for. Where did she come from? She was cherry picked. And they seen something in her to know, okay, simpletons like this can be in position to help destroy Judah at the very last. As long as she got a position to feel powerful and empowered and respected, who cares what happens to her people, her nation? As long as she can sit somewhere all comfortable by herself. But guess what? When the enemy is done destroying our people, guess what they're going to do with her? She's going to be like, well, hold up. I'm with you guys. I'm on your side. And the devil is going to say, well, no. I only use you long enough to destroy the many so that the many wouldn't oppose us. Now that you've helped us destroy all of your people and there's no men to defend you, you can dig a hole for yourself next to them. What do we have here? And man, scriptures is just popping all in my mind right now. But man, this thing got me so stirred up. Let me calm down. RFK, Elder Lawya, I don't know if you've seen this video. Robert F. Kennedy made a statement. And his statement was claiming that these vaccine schedules for our children are unnecessary compared to other races because of our strong immune system. And he said the science backs this. That means something unnecessary is going on in our community. And politicians who get this information is supposed to protect the black boys. Now you would think that she would take this information, Elder Lawya, and say, you know what? Well, let's re-examine this because there's a chance this stuff is harming our children. Let's see her stance in this. Now, she is supposed to represent us, folks. Fair use. Fair use for educational purposes only. Now, this is a white man trying to tell a sister, trying to give the sister information that can help our children when it comes to the knowledge of vaccines, whether or not it helps or hurt us. And let's see if she's going to take this information and say, you know what, I'm going to at least look into this.
Where you said the following, and I quote, "We should not be giving black people the same vaccine schedule that's given to whites because their immune system is better than ours." Can you please explain what you meant?
There's a series of studies, I think most of them by Poland, that show that to particular antigens that blacks have a much stronger reaction. There's differences in reaction to different products by different races.
So I have 17 seconds left. Let me just ask you then. So what different vaccine schedule would you say I should have received? What different vaccine schedule should I have received?
I mean, the Poland article suggests that blacks need fewer antigens than...
This is so dangerous.
So you get the same measles vaccine.
Mr. Kennedy, with all due respect, that is so dangerous.
Y'all see what an enemy looks like? It's the white man that's saying, listen, there's a study in Poland that shows black people's immune system is stronger than any other race, especially the white people. And that the adverse effects, because of our immune system is so strong, will happen more so in our people than other people. And he said there's a study in Poland that black people don't need this stuff, that other nations need certain medications and all that to try to meet the strength of our immune system. They need to sit in the sun to get vitamin D. Our body absorbs vitamin D automatically based on our melanin. He's saying this is science here, that we don't need the same schedule as white people, and there's a negative effect if we get the same schedule they get because of the androgens. Now you see why we all screwed up in all this? And instead of looking at this and saying, you know what, Robert F. Kennedy, that's some interesting information that might save black people, because we were living long lives before vaccines. Vaccines is a new thing, folks. My grandfather lived to be 105 years old on my mother's side. Didn't have one vaccine. Okay? 105 years old my grandfather was on my mother's side, and had not had one vaccine. Let's look at the arrogance in this Jezebel. Fair use.
Where you said the following, and I quote, "We should not be giving black people the same vaccine schedule that's given to whites because their immune system is better than ours."
Folks, that's science. That's science. He didn't just say this. He has studies, science to back this. But I'm going to tell you what it is, folks. And I keep showing you this over and over again. When you go back to slavery, the modern day healthcare system was established off of studies with our black women. Modern day gynecology began right here, folks. Look. They say we're going to study her psychologically and physically. She's a specimen. She grow old without wrinkles. White women wanted to know what, maybe there was a potion or something that come from black women, folks, so that they don't wrinkle past 40 or 50 years of age. They thought it was something we were doing. Folks, let me tell you, they were taking the afterbirth, after slavery and all of that, and using afterbirth. And folks, I got proof of this. They was using afterbirth as a youth agent during slavery. Where white women, they were so shocked at the strength of our black women, the beauty of our black women past 40 and 50 with no wrinkles, they thought that our women tapped into the fountain of youth. and how their sons are so strong and they run faster than everybody else. They're more virile than everyone else. They thought that we came into America, some of these simple elite white people who were studying science, they thought that we tapped into the fountain of youth and were using the women's afterbirth as longevity medications and all this others. Even though that's some stupid science, they thought that anyway back then. So how is it we going through people who didn't have no vaccines or nothing back then, and the white people are looking at us as a phenomenon to a point where we're the sickest people after listening to them? And I've been telling brothers and sisters in the hood for years, you got to watch out for these false diagnoses and all that, because the more we take this stuff, the weaker we become, and the greater and the quicker our replacements happen. It's no coincidence the same people that are coming into our neighborhoods is writing us up with all this healthcare stuff is the same people bringing their children over to replace us after we die in early age. So they studied the sister psychologically and physically, the positive attributes and the negative attributes, and say, you know what? Maybe we can use her to keep our system in place. And the only spirit that can break this phenomenon is the Spirit of God. Because in reality, now that I realize this, folks, they set a system in place where, guess what? She don't have to listen to us if she don't want to. A woman that respect and submit to a man, you know she's a good woman, because she knows that she don't have to, and Babylon would back her. The governments would back her. The police would back her. The only reason she submitted is because of the fear of God and the fact that she loved her husband or loved her people. Let me tell you, these women, they know they got a full board license to disrespect their men, because there's no consequence. Then they've studied our sister, they've put her in position and to leverage against us, and now we're past an impasse. What happens now? Like I said last year, the armies are here and they're not going anywhere. And eventually, they're going to kick all of these people out of office under DEI. And all these women who got a pat on the head going to realize that for betraying their own people, they're out on their own with no one to help them. They sold our children to the healthcare system. Our children, boys in general, are reading on a 6th grade level. Then they would say, well, hold up. What about the dad? I know people out there saying, what about the dad? Where's the dad? Hey, I need y'all to think about this. Who does the courts award the children to when the families separate? Or when a man or woman can't come together, who do automatically the children are awarded to? By default. If the woman says she wants custody, that's it. The only thing a man could give is his money. So you can't say, well, what about the man, if the man have no power or control over his own woman and children? The whole government makes sure that our women understands that. That's the spirit of Jezebel, backed by the government. this is what we're up against right here, folks. No one is asking what's going on with the mental health of our children, the low IQs of our little boys. While everyone else excel, and they're bringing people from all over the place that will now do what? Come against those that are left here. Only because what? This is what she wanted. This is what she allows. A white man is telling her to help her own people with her political power. She's a senator. If someone came to me, if a white man came to me right now, Elder Lawya, and said, well, listen, here's a study they did in Poland that they refused to do in the United States, saying that black people really don't need the vaccines that white people have because their immune systems are much stronger. If a white man came to me, I'm not going to look at that as a point of conflict. I'm going to look at it and say, well, let me see the data. And if that's so, let's adjust the schedule accordingly so that our children will not suffer adverse events, so that our children can live a long and healthy life, because there was life before vaccinations. And if that means we live longer and better through less vaccinations, then we'll do less vaccinations. That would be my response. I'm not going to say whether or not the study is correct, but I'm going to at least give it a listen to and consider the information and weigh it if I'm in a position of policy that can pass policy to help my people. At least I would say, well, listen, give me the data and let's look over this, because even if it's against everything I've known concerning vaccines, I owe it to my people to give it at least a careful examination. No, but the enemy know that she'll do this. This is why she was chosen.
Where you said the following, and I quote, "We should not be giving black people the same vaccine schedule that's given to whites because their immune system is better than ours." Can you please explain what you meant?
There's a series of studies, I think most of them by Poland, that show that to particular antigens that blacks have a much stronger reaction. There's differences in reaction to different products by different races.
So I have 17 seconds left. Let me just ask you then. So what different vaccine schedule would you say I should have received? What different vaccine schedule should I have received?
I mean, the Poland article suggests that blacks need fewer antigens than...
This is so dangerous.
So you get the same measles vaccine.
Mr. Kennedy, with all due respect, that is so dangerous. Your voice would be a voice that parents would listen to. That is so dangerous. I will be voting against your nomination because your views are dangerous to our state and to our country. Where you said the following, and I quote,
one more.
"We should not be giving black people the same vaccine schedule that's given to whites because their immune system is better than ours." Can you please explain what you meant?
There's a series of studies, I think most of them by Poland, that show that to particular antigens that blacks have a much stronger reaction. There's differences in reaction to different products by different races.
So I have 17 seconds left. Let me just ask you then. So what different vaccine schedule would you say I should have received? What different vaccine?
Now look at her smug, arrogant questioning. She thinks she's smart. She's dumb as a doornail. Look at her. Now, I'm looking also, Elder Lawya, during the so-called pandemic, March the 9th, she announced that Prince George County had recorded its first COVID-19 case, and she ordered the closing of all county buildings. And she also was behind. A matter of fact, let me put this up there. So everyone can see it. Check this out. Let me put it up there so everyone can see it. So it's a shame because while we are just going about our lives on a regular basis, you got the enemy like this being utilized by Satan to pass legislation that would actually destroy us through policy, using someone who looks like us as a proxy to destroy what's left of black men. Look at this. She thinks she's smart too. She thinks she has some level of intelligence. All right, look at this. All this so-called education, and she don't have enough sense to listen to a man that's saying, listen, black people are dying based on you allowing policy that would have black children have this with the same vaccine schedule as whites. Something is in us that would harm us if we take the same schedule. He's sitting there at a hearing as a white man defending the black community, the tribes of Judah. But it's the white man that's the devil? Look at this. Let me go down here. Let me go down to COVID here. Let me go ahead for COVID 2020. Look at this. Let me get it here. Right here. COVID-19 pandemic. On March 9th, 2020, also Brooks announced that Prince George's County had recorded its first case of COVID-19. That means one person with a cold or with COVID symptoms. She soon ordered the closing of all county buildings and opened the first COVID-19 testing site in the county of FedEx Field on March 27, 2020. Prince George's was the Maryland County hardest hit by COVID-19 pandemic with 74,704 cases, if you want to believe that, and so many deaths, right? And look at this. Look at this. Also, she praised the Hogan administration for its acquisition of 500,000 test kits from South Korea. I wonder how much money was in it to have those test kits come in there that she wrote the legislation for or approved. 500,000 tests from South Korea through Operation Enduring Friendship, some bogus foundation. She requested 90,000 of the test kits from Prince George's County residents. She was the face that spearheaded the whole COVID-19 thing that's now in question in Maryland. So, it's the white man that's the devil, huh?
vaccine schedule,
Well-
where you said the following, and I quote, "We should not be giving black people the same vaccine schedule that's given to whites because their immune system is better than ours." Can you please explain what you meant?
There's a series of studies, I think most of them by Poland, that show that to particular antigens that blacks have a much stronger reaction. There's differences in reaction to different products by different races.
So I have 17 seconds left. Let me just ask you then. So what different vaccine schedule would you say I should have received?
That
What?
Someone says, see, we're gonna have to straighten this out, Elder Lawya. And I know we mean better, and we always tend to try to make excuses for these people. Right? And we hear things like, she's being controlled. Folks, does this look like a woman getting controlled by someone else or a woman doing what she want to do? Who can control her? Huh? The only thing they have to do, because she's an enemy bot, only thing they got to do is just aim her focus towards who they're going to destroy, and let her go ahead with her arrogance to make her believe she's doing something. Okay? No one is controlling this woman. She loves what she's doing. So I know, I'm going to tell you folks, I know a lot of us would like to make an excuse and say, well, hold up, she really don't have any power. Nah. They choose people like this. The Bible speaks of people like this, about people like this. Okay? She's the person who, let me tell you, Elder Lawya, I know you ain't been in the corporate world. Okay? But I've seen it in the corporate world. Where you would have people like this who would go to the boss and give the boss ideas on how to destroy other people. I wouldn't do it this way. I would do it this way. A matter of fact, I'll come in early and I'll help you out. I'll type up the memo. I've seen it. So, brothers and sisters, we are giving our people too much leeway. This is her moment. She get a chance to tell the patriarchy, the bad white man who's really in charge. You don't see this? Tell me who's controlling her.
Where you said the following, and I quote, "We should not be giving black people the same vaccine schedule that's given to whites because their immune system is better than ours." Can you please explain what you meant?
There's a series of studies, I think most of them by Poland, that show that to particular antigens that blacks have a much strong...
Through the androgens, this is science, folks, that black people have a much stronger
reaction. There's differences in reaction to different products by different races.
So I have 17 seconds left. Let me just ask you then. So
I got 17 seconds left. So she's not concerned about this information that can help our boys. Our black boys and children. She's not concerned. She's concerned about this moment grandstanding before the cameras. Who's the devil right here? The white man? Or the one who sit on many waters?
And so what different vaccine schedule would you say I should have received?
that
What different vaccine schedule should I have received?
I mean, the pollen article suggests that blacks need fewer antigens than.
This is so
you get the
dangerous.
same measles vaccine. but
Mr. Kennedy, with
Listen, and not only that, this is what I hate the most. She asked for an explanation and then proceeds to cut him off from getting the answer because she don't want his answer on record. Which tells me she know what he's about to say. But if he put it on record, it would have to be considered in policy. So she asked a question, and before he can actually, because he was about to go into what? The credible science on it, she intentionally cuts him off. So why did she ask the question? Look, that's what the enemy looks like. And I'm going to tell you, folks, we need to start examining this. We've been naive to this spirit for a long time that have totally gutted what's left of our community. Folks, I'm going to tell you, this is the enemy that have always operated unchecked.
what different vaccine schedule should I have received?
I mean,
Now he's about to answer what vaccine schedule she should have received.
pollen article suggests that blacks need fewer antigens than.
This is so
you get the
dangerous.
same measles vaccine. but
Mr. Kennedy, with all due respect, that is so.
With all due respect, the most disrespectful person here. So the enemy will give a person like this credentials to help kill what's left of her own people. To help kill what's left of her own people. And when there's no warrior class to defend her at the very end, she's going to be just sitting there looking dumbfounded. All the people who put a battery in her back, all the people that patted her on the head, guess where they're going to be when it's all over? They're going to be on Trump's side against her. They've already started bowing the knee to Trump already. And they're going to kick her out on her head. Now there's no use for her. It was people like this during the whole time, migration and everything. It was her, led by the Democrats, allowing the immigrants and all that to come in. And it's leading to what? It's leading to civil unrest in the United States. And she have been used through the whole process since the end of the civil rights movement. Since she's been used. Since the civil rights movement on. And folks, even through slavery. We've been sleeping for a long, long, long time on this. So I'm going to ask a question, and I need y'all to be honest. And just, is there a subconscious hatred of black men in America, in particular, by their own women? Because I don't believe that have ever been admitted. Huh? Is there an underlying hatred against black men by our black women, even subconsciously without them even understanding it? where automatically our men is due less respect than any other people? Now, I'm going to tell you where it stops, though. Right here. See, they'll let it loose as long as it affects and it shows public humiliation on the black man. But when they see you get so brazen that you'll do this before white people, hey, believe me, there's a plan for her. They was like, well, okay, she's going past her pay grade now. We're going to have to let her know what she's in position for. We put her in position. We studied her psychologically to use her against her own people. We have studied her physically to set up a healthcare system that would always keep the black population in check. Now, she can use all of this stuff she's dealing with as long as her Jezebel spirit affects the growth and prosperity of her own community. But when she starts talking to us publicly like this, guess what? We're going to have to show her exactly who she was always since coming off the ship. And folks, I'm telling you right now, that reckoning is near. It's near. And because they put all these nut jobs, these people, these power hungry people in place, these women in place, chaos ensues. There's no order because they're out of order. And Satan wouldn't have it any other way.
Downtown LA, where police have declared an unlawful assembly tonight after protesters take to the streets as part of the Day Without Immigrants movement. Organizers say the goal of the campaign is to show the value of immigrants as employees and business owners.
Carlos Sosteda live in downtown LA, where some protesters are defying the orders to disperse. Carlos.
Mike and Sherry, good evening. Traffic is moving once again after police issued a dispersal order. Now, earlier, protesters took over this intersection on Main and Temple, and this is where protesters set up shop. Some were playing music, they were dancing, while others started drinking and doing donuts. Mexico! 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 Thousands of pro-immigrant rights demonstrators took over the streets of downtown LA for a second straight day. This time around, police were ready, blocking on-ramps to keep protesters away from marching onto the 101 freeway, as they did a day before, forcing it to shut down.
Well, it's personal for me because I obviously have many people in my family who are immigrants. They pay taxes. They don't get to draw from taxes like Social Security. My parents are very hard workers, and they fought for a lot for me, my siblings, my family.
Protesters are rallying against President Trump's immigration policies. The nationwide movement is being called a Day Without Immigrants.
On Monday, February 3rd, don't go to school, don't go to work, don't spend any money, not a single penny, because there will be a nationwide strike taking place called a Day Without Immigrants.
They want to put a stop to the mass deportations taking place. The Trump administration says it's only deporting those with violent criminal backgrounds who are in the country illegally.
I say leave the kids alone, leave the families alone, but everybody who's criminal, I say they go.
Police cleared the protesters north of the 101, but many then gathered at Temple and Main. Mexico! Mexico! At one point, cars began doing donuts at the intersection. This driver hitting the curb. The demonstrations mostly peaceful but highly disruptive of the evening rush hour commute. Protesters hoping their message doesn't get lost amid the pandemonium.
They think that we're aliens, but the truth is we could be teachers, we could be lawyers, we could be something better than what they're trying to make us become. We're not monsters, we're human beings.
And we are hearing that several protesters were detained by police near Union Station.
And also, they waving these flags. I'm going to tell you right now, the Democrats, these women in all these different positions, led by satanic Kamala, has allowed the chaos to ensue. And guess what? It's not going away. Troops have already been called in for all of the major cities that once were asylum cities. Now, there's another thing that comes with this, Elder Lawya, that adds to the civil unrest. That adds to it. Come to find out, I'm hearing through conversation and phone calls also, all right, that ICE is going into all of these different places, grabbing people, taking them into Guantanamo Bay by the thousands. Some people, they ask questions and ask, well, okay, let me see your papers. And there's a database that they'll run the person on a database. And if they are wanted for any crime in the United States and or from their home country, they're bagged immediately. They went into one house and they ran some people who were from other countries, the 10 tribes, some of our people, and they ran the people, and ICE left. ICE left and left the people there, even though they were illegal or they didn't have any papers. There was no signs. There was no data. There was nothing on the data that showed that they were criminals, and they let them go. But many are being bagged right now, right? So in the midst of this, I'm going to tell you what's going on right now. The first stage is to get all these immigrants out of the way, but still have military in place. And then what they're going to do, all the people they put in position through DEI, like that woman we seen, like the rest of them, Esau is going to aim all of their attention against these women who betrayed their own people. Going to throw them back in with who's left. And at the very end of this, the engagement with the military, these politicians help put in place. That's how it's going to go down. Folks, I'm going to tell you this right now. A humbling is coming. Now, getting back on this to why I had to come, Elder Lawya. I was going to let you deal with it, but I had to come after Shamal sent me this video. I'm going to ask you, Elder Lawya, do you think, is there a low-key resentment against black men by our own women? And I always have to put a modifier on it. We know it's not all. We know we love our women because, we're married to them, right? Right? We care for our sisters, so it's not about whether or not we care about them, but I'm talking about in general and number, are we naive? Is there an underlying resentment that the enemy understands that's in them that we don't?
God, I believe so. Yes, sir.
Why?
That's the question. That's a very good question.
Why? And maybe we can get an answer. Why? Because what I'm seeing right now is, there's a paradigm shift, and I'm going to be talking about that this weekend. There's a paradigm shift. Men now are walking very careful, especially single men, with no aspirations towards family and all of that, or the care for family, or the care to have a life with a wife until death do you part, compared to when our generation came up. It's an entirely different paradigm now. When men is like, they're walking like, they're walking in their engagement with women like they're walking through a maze. It's not to engage, but to avoid. And I don't know if anyone is actually noticing this. Okay. Men out there they actually see what's going on, but they're moving in silence. They're not trying to come to a consensus or some type of solution when it comes to this conversation, as if of us coming together, as if they've given up already. Okay. It's like, I don't know what this is, but I can see the deck is clearly stacked against me in every area. Be it family, be it building with someone. I don't see at the end of it where I can come out with the outcome I intended for me having a family with a wife who would respect and submit to me. Men are seeing that it's a futile deal. It's futile. And they're moving accordingly, and who suffers at the end of it? We, as a people, this is what they wanted. So when I see the arrogance of this woman operating like this, I can understand. Because this is deeper than just her in a power position, power tripping, not realizing that what she's doing is actually hurting all of her people. But this transfers to every part of her life when it comes to her commitment to her community, to us. The way she think, you place this any place within our community and it's total destruction. So maybe someone can answer these questions. I got the Zoom here real quick, but I'll tell you what, a reckoning is coming. It's coming. Let me tell you what I'm seeing right now in Elder Lawya. Just through a couple of days, old Trump signed this bill. And through this bill, he's kicking all trans, everything. If you're not a man or a woman and don't identify as either of that, you get the boot. More people have enlisted in the armed forces within the last month since Trump was voted in, opposed to of any time during the Biden administration. Like enrollments are up like crazy. Like white men in particular are joining the armed forces. Say, yeah, let's get it in. Let's get ready to fight. Let's get ready to fight now. So now the enrollments are up for the military. The morale is up. They're kicking out LGBTQ and DEI and all these others. They're building their war class for what's about to come. And what's about to come is that battle that leads to what? The height of desolations written of in the book of Daniel. And who have sped them along? Who have helped them with all of these plans, these policies that would destroy the children of Jacob. I got a few people in here. Now, there's a few scriptures that I'm going to pull up, but I need to talk about this. Maybe Aisha Johnson can answer this question. Unmute, Aisha.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom. How are you doing, Aisha?
All praises good.
Okay. What you have to say on the topic here?
You know, when you come into the truth and you walking wholeheartedly in it,
Hold up, sister, because there's a delay. Are you listening to me? Mute it on YouTube and listen to me only through Zoom, or it's going to be a hard conversation.
Can you hear me now? Is the delay still there?
No, the delay is there. Talk to me. Make sure I'm not playing in the background, sister. Mute me in the background, please. Mute YouTube.
It's off. I got out of YouTube so you can hear me.
Okay. How are you, sister? Where you from?
We currently live in Vermont.
Okay. What you have to say on the topic?
Okay. What I do have to say is, for the sisters who are really wholeheartedly walking in the truth and really submitting to a higher and really unlearning all the stuff that we were taught before and coming in church and failed relationships, the submission part is not a problem at all anymore, because me personally, I've seen all the error of making bad choices by myself.
Okay, but that ain't. But let's keep it on topic. Let's talk in general, not about yourself.
Okay.
Because we're not talking about people in the truth. What we're talking about in general. Is there an underlying hatred for black men by black women, even subconsciously, without them even knowing?
Yes, there is. Yes.
Why?
Only thing I can say is from like other women that I've encountered, I don't even think they're really aware that it's there. It's just something that they react to. It can be any type of thing that they feel that it shouldn't be said, or how it was said, or the way that it was done, and they react negatively. And they use a lot of authoritative demeanor to come off in a very highly masculine way to get their point across, when it's wrong. It's totally wrong.
Listen, let me make this clear, all right? And this is why I'm going to keep on. I have to discuss this, sister, and I'm speaking to people in the chat real quick. When people say not all, not all, not all, we know it's not all. But here's the problem that we need to come to terms with. The majority.
Mm-hmm.
The majority is turning out like this. Now, if it's not all, but it's only 10%, that's something that it's a non-conversation. It's a non sequitur. It's not even in the conversation if it's not all and it's only 10%. We can keep that at bay. If it's not all and it's 20%, 30%, okay, we're going to keep our eye on it, right? But still, the majority we can build with and protect our family going forward. But when the not all is over 50 to 60%, I mean, the not all, when the not all, it's only 10 to 15%, and the majority is going along with the Babylonian program, we have a serious issue. So when we talk about the not all have been silenced. The representation is what it is. So going back to you, sister, we're not talking about some bad apples here. Okay, sisters, because I think men is waking up to what the reality is here. I really do think men are just waking up like, well, hold up. And I think the advent of the internet allowing people just to talk freely with what's on their mind and how they're thinking had man take a pause and be like, well, hold up now. This is not the innocence and the purity that we automatically lean towards believing women are. So I believe the advent of TikTok and all this and allow women to speak freely. Usually when women speak, when I was coming up, they were in circles by themselves, so it didn't really affect the men. So the idea of a woman, as long as our fathers were able to keep the idea of that woman, right? Regardless of what she say amongst other people, because she still had some respect and submitted to that authority. A lot of these conversations that we're hearing, men were never involved in. But I believe the advent of the internet allowed us to hear the conversations women always knew existed amongst women. And now the cat is out of the bag. Men are like, whoa. The idea of the purity and the innocence that I would automatically assume when it comes to women aren't as prevalent or normal as I believed. So it wasn't anything men did to figure this out. It's sitting back listening to women that have changed the whole dynamic now. Oh, this is what they're thinking. This is how they truly feel. Man, they are blowing up my my Zoom right now. So,
all right.
So go ahead, sister. You have the last word. What you have to say about that? Let me ask you this, sister. Let me ask you this, sister. We all know what exists now. Satan would use Jezebel to take down the man. What do women have to do to fix this? To fix their part?
Listen to proper guidance and correction and instruction from someone who's giving them a wise word, from not just a wise word that's not filled with rage and fury and getting revenge. Because that's what a lot of it is. They want to get revenge. I got to get the last word. It's chaotic.
It sounds easier, because in order to do this, sister, a person can only take advice from from people they respect. Like, and I think that's the dichotomy that sisters run into, right? Sisters were taught that they can disrespect their own men without consequences. Well, it so happens in the Bible, these are the same men you must respect to receive the truth of the Almighty, to be corrected.
Yes.
And I think that's the quandary our sisters in. They were taught that it's okay to disrespect black men because there's no consequence. But then the Most High added a twist. He made it where you would be saved by listening to those same black men. So you have no choice but to what? At the end of the day, respect one. Because a black man is coming back. Christ.
Yes. Yes.
Hallelujah. Thank you, sister.
You're welcome. Shalom.
Shalom. Thank you for your insight. Elder Lawya, anytime you want to come in, just let me know. All right?
Yes, sir. I just had something I wanted to read real quick.
Okay.
In regards to the question.
All right. Yes, Elder Lawya. Let me bring you in.
Yes, sir.
All right. What you have?
All right. I'm going to start in Deuteronomy 28.
Yeah.
And verse number, let me start at I could start at 49, but I want to get straight to the point.
Okay, let me grab it so I can have it here. Deuteronomy 28. Okay, this is going into the curses.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm there.
All right, I'll just start from 49 for the context, but I'll point out the key verses and you can break it down and go into it. Deuteronomy 28 and 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. He shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which shall also not leave either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kine, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until the high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all the land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, and the Lord thy God, which the Lord thy God have given thee. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, and the flesh of thy sons, and the flesh of thy daughters. We know some of this happened in 70 AD. Which the Lord thy God have given thee in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. Key point. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave, so that he will not give any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. Key verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter.
Now, just imagine a person who's not coming to grips with the curse. See, Esau understand that this is a part of the curse on the children of Israel. Now, suppose they could educate this and put this in position to destroy.
Exactly.
A person with resentment, hatred, who see her own men as Esau, the destroyer, sees him. And man, we're going to have some sit-down conversations this summer. On the street, sit down in a conversation setting, since we have that studio now that's set up for podcasts.
Right.
Because I'm going to tell you, I don't believe our people know the resentment they have against one another.
Right. Stick.
Yeah, I don't think they even know it, that they're under a curse.
Right.
Let me tell you, man, I've seen not too long ago, Elder Lawya, I've seen a young lady in Wawa. And she young lady, she nice looking young lady or whatever the case is. She's disrespecting an older man that had to be in his 40s or 50s. Like,
wow.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because, he opened the door for her, and she opened, just let her go. And she's like, I don't need this, that, and the other. And the old man was just being chivalrous. And you should have seen her look at him like he was the end of the world. I was flat. I'm sitting there looking at this, and I'm like, let me tell you, Elder Lawya, when we were growing up in Philadelphia, when we seen a gray-haired person, even if they were strangers, the respect of the age we feared that somehow that disrespect towards that elder would get back to our parents. Even if let me tell you, even if we were 3 miles away, there was no way that we would disrespect those especially a man or a woman or an older, I would never see a young lady disrespecting an elder man in her teens or in her 20s and think that she's, that she's too good for her elder. And I'm like, and it started coming to me, and I'm like, they don't even know. Their resentment is for no reason. Their combativeness, there's really no reason behind it. And then I came to a conclusion. I think they be projecting when they claim that black men don't like black women. It's the other way around. It's the other way around. Subconsciously, it's the other way around. Honcho.
Let me tell you, even if we were 3 miles away.
Hey, Honcho.
There was no
Yes, sir.
way.
Do me a favor, Honcho. I need you to turn off YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Where you from, Honcho?
I'm from Tacoma, Washington.
Okay, before you do that, my brother Tarlo, if you out there, Philadelphia, Tarlo, give me a call, young man. I heard that we ain't see you in a while. I know you're dealing with flight school, but I want to hear from you, young man. We got some work to do. All right. All right, brother. Let's see here. Yes, Tarlo, how are you? You there, Tarlo? Talk to me. No, I'm saying Tarlo. I got Tarlo on the mind. Honcho, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, sir.
Okay, you in Washington State?
Yes, sir.
All right, talk to me.
I'm just here to learn, man. I'm enjoying the stream. I think you guys are right on point. You got it right. We have a hate for each other, and it's like we don't even know we have the hate for each other.
How do we fix it?
I mean, the only way to really fix it is, in my opinion, is to come back, to the Most High, but then.
Well, see, that's general. We know if you come back to the Most High, it's all good.
Right.
I really think that it's upon the women to really start setting a standard and checking these other women.
Right. Right.
Because let me tell you, when I was coming up, it wasn't the father keeping it wasn't the men keeping the women in check. It was the older women keeping these young girls in check.
Right.
Men had to do what? Men had to go out and provide and do what we need to do. But guess what? I know. Let me tell you, brother, and I'm going to let you flow. We had family reunions, we had cookouts, we had get-togethers, we had card games and all these others on the block, right?
Yeah.
And if a young lady come in there dressed a certain type of way and knowing that it was people's husbands around, you had women in the room would give that woman, that young girl, the look of death.
Right.
She understood what shame looked like. Right. And I'll tell you right now, it would be somebody going to her, getting her up out of that vicinity. You're not going to be up here with your butt out and your breasts out around our men.
Right.
They were outcasts. They felt like lepers if they came in, and not operating in respect of the women in the house. It was the women who kept things in check.
Right.
So I don't know what happened, but I'm looking online and it's the older women like witches and all that giving all the advice to the young girls with no pushback. It's going to take women standing up on the outside of here to get these women in order. But let me ask you this, right? Is it too late?
Maybe. It might. I mean, well, it's not too late for us that want to get it right, and and we do have some women that like my wife. We have some women that want to get it right, but it's like in my family, for example, I never met my biological grandfather. Come to find out, like a year ago, my dad's dad was actually still alive, but it seems like in our family, nobody's ever really just valued it. It's just like he just didn't even exist. You know what I mean? And we just got generations of just being raised by our mothers and our grandmothers, and now Babylon has given a construct to the woman to just. I mean, they promoted people like Sexy Red and they just and OnlyFans and Instagram and it's like they could just do what they want. Like it's almost to the fact like why would they want to listen?
Need you to check this out. All right. Now finish saying what you got to say.
Yeah, I even have some times when I'll talk.
You gotta punish them. You gotta make.
Hold up, I want people to see this.
You gotta punish them. You gotta make him go.
There's this.
You gotta punish them. You gotta make him.
There's this witch that have come to my attention from let me show you. There's this witch that have come to my attention who gives women everywhere. She have like 1 million subscribers. She gives women everywhere, young ladies and all that advice. By the name of Shira 7. Filters, makeup, everything else. Who knows what she looks like under this? Obviously, she don't want anyone to see it. Right?
Right.
But listen to this. The advice she's giving people.
Make him go into debt on this one. So every time he pays that bill, he thinks about what he did. The gift that you get should be better than any gift that you've ever gotten from this person. If there's a punishment for whatever they've done and it's harsh, they're not going to repeat it. The punishment has to be severe. If they even want a second chance, it has to hurt them like financially. So, I mean, some people set up their prenups like this. I know Justin Timberlake and his wife, their prenup says every time if he cheats, he has to give her, what is it, $50,000, $500,000, something? I don't know. Every time he cheats, if he gets caught in her bank account. So you don't have to have a prenup, but you will say, okay, you want me to take you back? This is what I want. Name your price. Name what item you've been wanting. Name a piece of jewelry you've been wanting. Name a car. Name, time to move. Vacation time. Luxury purse time. Whatever. That's what time it is. It's gift time. It's Christmas. The gift that you get should be better than any gift that you've ever gotten from this person. Okay? This is your bragging gift. So if they can't.
And not only that, she tells women how to punish men. And she have a whole channel set up on witchcraft. How to use witchcraft for young girls. Let me tell you, folks. And I'm asking outright. I'm asking outright. Is is it too late? She got millions of subscribers. She got a full channel strictly teaching witchcraft to our young women. What you say, young man?
I was gonna say, take it a little. It seemed as if, when I was looking for a woman, looking for a wife, if you tell a woman, you wanted to commit to her and do the right things, she wouldn't even like you, But if you tell her I'm not interested in a relationship, it would attract her more. It's almost like our music or something. The spirit has our women attracted to a man that's not even, pretends or that he doesn't want her or something of that sort. And then she'll fight for him. So she'll end up fighting for the man that's not even, all the way serious about it.
Okay, that too. Man, let me ask you this, because since we're going into the civil unrest and the confusion is really going into, you got the people of the curse, right? Our people who's coming out of the curse now, and we're finally fighting against the strongholds that were against us. I think we're in a time where now that we know the law and what's right according to our God, anything less will not be accepted. And as we come out of the case, out of the curse, like Lawya was mentioning earlier, that we were under a curse, we begin to break strongholds. So some of the things that we noticed before that we accepted as men are no longer accepted. Now that we know there's a law of submission, a law of what a man is supposed to be and what a woman is supposed to be. And I believe that the world is trying to hold on to that power they once had over the cursed man. And believe it or not, brother, and I'm going to bring somebody else on in a second, I believe that's why there was so much pushback with Kevin Samuels.
Right.
I believe I'm like, why do they hate this brother like this? Why is there so much pushback? He just want what? He just want people families to stay together. And he started what? Tempering expectations. Like, well, no. There's no relationships because people are going after something that doesn't exist. And he started telling people exactly what they were. Because back when our grandparents were growing up, we knew what we were. If you were average, you were average. You go on with your wife, you go to church or whatever back in the day, and you get on with your life and have kids and you're off the market and life goes on. And people I'm like, why do they hate him like this? Now, I didn't agree with everything he said, but he was breaking a paradigm. He was breaking a paradigm. He was allowing people to hear what they were thinking.
Yeah.
They hated this guy. And I'm like, hold up. Is this guy that bad? So I started listening. I'm like, you know what? He's right. He's right. This thing have gotten totally out of control. And it's time that we begin to address it.
Right.
Address what? The fact that the majority of our women intentionally are incentivized to be out of order, to operate out of order. And this is what keeps our people low. And that's the truth. Now and again, are men heavenly angels? Do they have some hand in our downfall? Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
But there's a place for men that get out of order. Right?
Yeah.
6 feet under or in jail.
Right. Like, and also when I was working when I first came to the truth 6-7 years ago.
And listen, like I said, no, go ahead, say your point.
When I first came to the truth 6-7 years ago, and I was at the airport, it was literally the brothers was walking around telling all the brothers, "We not supposed to do that. We not supposed to do this." Like following the command. It wasn't even just from YouTube. It was literally from the other brothers. You know, I can go to eat a cheeseburger and the brother come over there and say, "Hey man, you can't see the cow in the mother's milk." You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, okay, you know what I'm saying? We breaking it down like that. So I mean, maybe the same thing has to happen with the women, where they hold each other accountable.
Well, it's coming. It's coming. Well, thank you, my brother Honcho, and I hope to see you soon.
Yes, and I appreciate everything you guys do, man. You guys are my heroes, man, and Elder Rawchaa, man. Keep it up, man. Thank you, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. I appreciate you. You can let yourself out. Oh, no. Kevin Samuels wasn't over at church or anything, but I'm just talking about the general consensus. When it comes to conversation, I believe his conversations allowed, it was a reality check when it comes to the expectations from women. Okay. How only 10 to 20% of the men is good enough for 90 to 100% of the women. And that was a dynamic, was that dynamic in of itself was deep. Okay. Not everything the guy said, but I can understand, because he was ruffling feathers. Because why? He was given insight to what most men were naive to. Women was like, well, don't let the cat out of the bag. Don't say anything. But no, we need to have these conversations so that we can break the Willie Lynch curse. Because when it comes to civil unrest and all of this, they put certain people in position to cause the chaos. They choose these people to continue the chaos amongst us. And you know what? The only thing that can get us together once and for all, and we only got a small window to do this, is to come under the hedge of the Almighty together and assume the positions we were made to assume. That's how the curse is broken once and for all. The curse is broken when Judah, Israel, the man and woman, assume the positions we were born to actually step into by God. And because that will set what? That will set a standard that others would have to ascribe to. And once that standard is set, shame comes back. There is no shame, because you can do as thou wilt. Why? Because all things are relative with no law. Well, I'm not here for the hearsay of what Kevin did with his personal life and his family, because he's not here to vouch or to say any of that. I can only go by, listen to me clearly, I can only go by the content that was before us. And that content resonated for a reason. Okay, he wasn't forcing these people to call into a show. They were voluntarily calling in, giving us an insight to what was in their minds. So Kevin aside, it doesn't matter whether or not these people were from the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. There was a similar mindset that most of us thought was what? The minority of women. Okay? So it don't have nothing to do with Kevin's personal life. I'm not going into that. Okay? But I do know he had no power over the women who were calling in, divulging what was, explaining what was in their minds. So let's get them out of the way for a second. right? And deal with the mindset of the people who was calling in. And that lets me know. And back then, you know what? Maybe one day we will have a, just one day, just for a case study with the scriptures there. Just for a case study. Review one of his videos and say, okay, according to the Bible, what is he saying here? According to the Bible, what is this person saying and or reacting to him? So that we can bring a Bible perspective off of that, if it's allowed. But all in all, I'm gonna tell you right now, folks. I'm gonna tell you again, and may the Lord rest his soul, and I hope he made peace with the Almighty. I'll tell you this. That moment was a ripple into what we would call the American paradigm for relationships. Okay? I'm going to tell you that. Kayem, talk to me. That moment was a ripple. Shalom, Kayem. Where you from, young man? Talk to me. What state?
Yes, sir. I'm from Washington, D.C., but I'm in North Carolina, sir. Oh, Elder, man. Thank you again. Double honors to you, sir. I wanted to touch on what the last brother was talking about. Elder, seems like men, we are put in the crab's barrel. We are held on what the last man did or what the next man could possibly do. And I think
what you mean by that?
Like for example, you can if somebody asks you about your past and you tell them, right, and then you tell them the answer, and they might don't believe you, and you'll be willing to go through the ins and outs to prove your case, but because men lying, we getting held for what, you know what I mean? It's the same stigma that, you know what I mean, when you walk down the street, somebody lock their car door, and you'll know you're a black male. It's one of the things where we get held accountable for whatever our brethren do. It seems like, you know what I mean, we're put in the same.
Okay, well, let's talk about what our brethren do then.
Yes, sir.
So what you're saying is there's bad experiences that happens. And instead of a person, man or woman, viewing that as an isolated scenario, the encounter was one bad encounter with one person, they internalize that and make that person any man they're encountering?
It seemed like it's hard for them to let their past go. Because, you know, most of the time, Elder, what I've told, you know, men, we tend to get over things a lot faster. And I think that's the whole thing, that because we know that our sisters are a weaker vessel. So, you know, the emotional standpoint that we know that they go through. So it's hard for them to get over what we get over a lot sooner. So when you're trying to, you know, introduce yourself to somebody, you may have to go overboard, even, you know what I mean, more so trying to show that you're not like nobody else.
Okay, nah. Hey, brother. Nah, that's unfair.
Yes, sir.
I understand you're giving an explanation, but that's unfair that someone have to live up to a situation they had nothing to do with. Right? So the whole deal is, if someone is coming with their past and judging you by it, you're not to interact that way. You are to say, listen, I can't deal with your past. I can't be with you in your past too. So you're going to have to make a decision. If you're bringing up all your past resentment from your relationships, and now you're dealing with me as if I did that to you, Okay, this relationship is going nowhere fast. So, I mean, what you're saying is to why women have gone rogue?
Well, yeah. In a way, I'll say this.
Because we can't use that, because I'm seeing young girls who haven't gone through many relationships that are out of order, who don't have a long, have a long time in relationships to actually have developed a negative view on anyone, especially a man. So I believe, this is my opinion, I believe a lot of this is generational and it's learned. Like, for instance, if a man has resentment and he instilled that resentment into his son, he's going to view the world a certain type of way. Now, I'm going to let you in. I think this is where, now that I'm thinking about it, I think this is where the weaker vessel comes in at, since you mentioned that. A man know that even if his relationship didn't work out, he will never say something negative or put some negative connotation towards that woman and instill that vitriol or even the pain he experienced in his children. Men are conscious not to do that. Men know. It doesn't matter if me and your mom didn't work out. You'll never hear me say anything negative about her. And I will never make you feel that you need to hate her based on the relationship not working out. Now, men know that, a matter of fact, if they see their children getting out of order when it comes to their mom, they check the mom. Right? I mean, they check the child and say, listen, don't talk about your mom like that around me. That's still your mother. But I don't believe, especially, I'm speaking from a world standpoint, right? The worldly view right now. I don't believe it's the same the other way. Right? I mean, the child becomes a pawn in their game, right, against the men when they have resentment. And then it begins a generational cycle. A generational cycle where the trauma from the mother falls on the children. Now they grow up traumatized. They grow up with a negative view on relationships, a negative view on a man or a woman based on what was instilled in them from the mother. And sometimes I don't believe it's intentional. I believe that women just can't hide their pain like men. Okay? There are instances where they're in the bathroom crying and the child is trying to console them and trying to, Mom, don't cry, don't cry. And now the child is coming to a conclusion. He always hurting my mother, this, that, and the other. And it becomes generation. But no, it shouldn't be a situation where if a woman, well, really what it comes down to is people are supposed to stay together. How about that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because, I mean, think about this. See, we got to have some of these relationship conversations. Because when you get yourself adjusted, especially a woman, right? Think about this, young man. Why do you think in marriage, the father gives the daughter to the man to be her husband? And that's the Bible side of things. She goes straight from a father to the man she'll be married to in biblical times. Even from worldly terms, they would call it bride and groom. Why? Well, the bride is given to the groom and the man grooms and shape the woman into what she needs to be for him. Grooming, right? So the young girl figures out, she grows into a woman and figure out his pet peeves, what he liked, what makes him happy, how he liked things done around him. She don't have to figure it out because she was groomed into and morphed into actually doing everything to satisfy this man, right? But every man is different. And this is what will confuse a woman when all the things that make the man she was with happy, she gets in another relationship and everything she does, this other man can't stand. And it confuses her. Like he didn't feel it. He liked when I did this. He liked when I did that. She don't understand that she was groomed for that man. And she'll get into another relationship and think, man, men are crazy. This guy like it like this, but this guy don't even realize that men and women are different. When you're shaped for a man, all men aren't the same. Okay, you was used to putting the fork and knife on the left side, right? And he's like, well, no, I'm left-handed. I want my fork and spoon on the right side. and what it is, and women are looking at this because women are, they're very, very, very simple at heart when it comes to, they just want to take care of things and they're not too complex. So they start to think, well, all men are crazy because I don't know what to do because this man like it like this and this man like it like that. Well, it was because a woman was supposed to be groomed for one man. And usually the conflict comes in when everything she's doing ain't good enough for this man, when the other man that she was with totally appreciated it. So those are whole nother conversations we need to have. But yes, I believe that adds to the frustration. A woman is doing everything she can. She can't change who she is, but it was easily accepted and appreciated with the person she was with. But now she can't do nothing right with this guy she really care about. And it's like, and it becomes secular. You have the last word.
Yes, sir. And you were so right about how we will defend the mother about our child if our children are saying something negative, because we understand what that means, and that could revert to it can in turn come to us, that same type of disrespect. And I would say, Elder, like far as the men, like when you ask like is it over? I think time is running out to where we can actually start having great marriages. But just take both parties to really come into what they're supposed to do as a man and a woman. And I really think that's going to make a change. And do the allow the scriptures to allow the scriptures and the Holy Spirit to guide and the leadership.
Yeah.
But like you say, as men, we have to know what we want and stand on it.
Yeah.
And with love. Yes,
now let me tell you this. What I was just speaking about earlier is what? That's if all things are perfect. In a perfect world, that's what it would have been, and we'd have went on with our lives, right? But that's not the reality, and it can't help us here because it's very few of us have been with just one person. And it took, like, in this world, we weren't taught what was right or wrong concerning that, right? Especially us as a people. But when what? Listen to this part that I'm going to say. When we come to the knowledge of the truth, it's like, well, okay. Christ allowed us to repent. He have allowed us to wash away the past so that not only will the Most High in Christ will not hold the past against us, so we can't hold someone's past against them. So in light of what you're saying, people come from past relationships and bring that baggage into something. They have to, in good conscience, say, you know what? If I've been forgiven and Christ have made me a chaste virgin, I'm going to give the person I'm with a righteous chance, a pure chance, not based on who I used to be. And I pray they do the same. Now, there will be some, some button heads when people get to know each other because, you've grown and to some degree are set in your ways, right? To some degree. But with patience, we begin to learn one another and understand the benefit of staying with one another. Knowing that there was conflict with Adam and Eve from the beginning. Okay? They went and did this, and conflict and all types of hell came into the world. That's why I did the lesson, Eve's burden. But they didn't just throw their hands up and say, well, because you did this, girl, I'm done with you. Right? She couldn't get rid of Adam, and Adam couldn't get rid of her. They had perseverance, staying power, because they understood what was coming through them was what was bigger and or greater than them. Because the Most High also showed that even through this chaos, his son would come through Adam and Eve. So they understood, even though the mistake was made, that mistake can be fixed through their prodigy. See, that eventually they must stay together to bring forth that prodigy, to bring forth that particular spirit that can only happen if they persevere through conflict. And what I've noticed, we so easy give up on one another. And that's a curse in of itself. And I'm glad Elder Lawya brought out that Deuteronomy in 28th chapter. Because when carnality sets in, we think we can just throw our hands up and say, well, it's over, like it's truly over. Okay? When conflict happens and we choose that it's over, something else is born out of that. You know what was born out of it? The name and legacy will cease to exist. We're cutting off our own name. And Adam and Eve understood they can just throw their hands up because their name meant something. Him being the spirit of Melchizedek from the beginning, and the children of Israel. Israel, the name, the Prince of God, was going to come out of that mistake. So they knew, regardless of their individual mistakes, what it meant for their children to work it out. Unselfishness. Thank you, my brother. You know,
thank you.
Someone sent me a Kevin Samuels video. Some young girl called Kevin Samuels. It says, I think, can we review this together? I don't know if we have time. Let me see. I could probably do it Friday. Do y'all want to see this video? Or we can wait till Friday to see it. It's something that Kevin Samuels, someone sit and say, Elder, show this video. Maybe I could do it Friday. May the Lord rest his soul. I'll play it if the consensus is here for me to play it. I'll tell you what. Let me ask the sisters. Do y'all want me? Sisters, only sisters answer. Do y'all want me to play it? I'm not trying to get anyone mad up in here. One moment. Okay. How many nays? Okay, Shaquila says nay. I got a lot of yays. Shakuria says nay. Mixed reviews. Okay, well, we can't have no mixed reviews. It has to be an anonymous consensus. All right. Someone. I don't think it was anything embarrassing. It's just, I guess, usually you know what it is with this Kevin Samuels videos. He ended up asking all the right questions to get to the bottom of what's really going on. And then next thing you know, he's like, well, no, you said that. Let's examine that. And it takes a turn, a tough turn. But I'll let that be. All right. It has to be, no. If they say no, then no. Okay. We come here for the word of the Almighty and to come together, and I don't want anything to happen where people are feeling a certain type of way. But hold up now. Sister Quadasha puts a finger down, a thumb down. All right. Well, I'm not gonna play it. Oh, hold up. What's that? Someone tried to send that, so I'm gonna leave that there. So the question is, I'm gonna let you off, brother. I'm gonna bring someone else in.
Yes, sir.
Shalom. Right. Shalom. The question is, and let's tell the truth real quick. Is there a level of resentment and hatred towards the Judite man here in America by his woman? And if so, why? For those who would like to come in, someone is here on the iPhone. Let me bring them in.
America by his woman. And if so, why?
There's someone on the iPhone. Who's this?
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
How you doing?
Hello again.
It's good to see you, sister. You didn't mind me putting up the video, did you?
No, it did not.
Okay,
no.
It was a teaching moment for many.
By his woman. So why?
Do me a favor. Turn off YouTube real quick. There's an echo.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
How you?
Hey, sister, just mute YouTube and just come in through Zoom.
Can you still hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, sister. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, talk to me.
Yes, I would like to say two things. One is that I really believe that our women have a very much of a problem. Mostly if I was on our women, that I really hate how they have this hatred or attitudes towards our men. And I just really hate it. And
so let's talk about the attitude towards our men. What attitude? What are you talking about?
As far as like being rude or like not admitting the truth, like for example, like I adore Kevin Samuels. I really love this man. I could watch him all day if I want to, but of course there are certain things that I did not agree with him because of our beliefs and stuff. But overall, I really love the man, and kind of shed a tear when I heard him pass away, and so. But as far as when the woman came on to the show and some of them have attitudes, when they was talking about their weight, they denied it or just didn't want to tell the truth. It got me so mad. And it just angers me to where our women is really is.
Yeah, I know to some degree, Kevin Samuels, the mention of him caused certain levels of trigger, right? So, but let's do it this way. There were some things that he said was correct, right? One thing that he said is correct is there's a long list when it comes to the expectations for a man that a woman would have. But there's very little attention given to what a man wants. Women were made for men. So if you can have a long list of what you would like for a relationship, why can't you come up with that same list for the man you were born to be a helpmeet to? What is your list for a man? Right? What can you do for him? And he just quantified it down to something simple. Right? Fit, feminine, and friendly. Right? How a woman presents herself is the example of that man who's proud to have her. So if she's not healthy, if she doesn't represent, right? She's saying this is all my man deserves. And when he said that part on a surface level resonated, right? Because what? A woman was made for a man. And I don't know what happened. Him aside, I'm talking about the book of Genesis right here. A woman was made for a man. And the expectations is supposed to come from the man concerning what's fit for him as to have a wife or a woman. He sets the standard, or he's the one that comes up with the list of standards, not the woman.
Exactly.
So that's what twisted things. And it doesn't have to be Kevin Samuel. I believe that he resonated enough and was intelligent enough to have that conversation at a time where most people weren't doing anything because they were locked in their home under the pandemic. But all in all, that conversation needed to be had. All these expectations out there, and guess what? None of them are being fulfilled because we're living in a world of singles right now. So what are the standards getting people if no one is with anyone else? So it's time to go back to what the Most High. And guess what? The world has a way of resetting itself, of fixing itself. And that's what's going on, right? So what's going on is everything is just fixing itself, right? All these standards, but guess what? Ain't no one around to fulfill them. And it all comes back to we're going to have to do it God's way. We're going to have to do it God's way. Now, you were telling me the other day, and we have a video up, and thank you, that how old are you again, young lady?
28.
28, and it's time for you to find yourself a husband and get on with your life with some children, a man of the Bible, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you got to put yourself in proximity of him and be a helpmeet. I believe you will be a good wife to a young man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Now, are you making sure that you're getting everything together, the fit, feminine, and friendly part?
Yes, sir. As I know,
and above all, pray and believe in your God, and making sure that you're giving your husband the best representation of yourself. Right?
Yes, sir. I know that I'm on my journey, and that's the
hold on. What's this on my journey?
No, I mean, like, as far as you talked about, the exercise, and Kevin Samuels talked about the exercise. I'm doing that. And
I ain't talking about Kevin Samuels. I'm talking about, you ain't going to, listen, may the Lord rest Kevin Samuels' soul. Okay, the only man you supposed to be thinking about and getting yourself ready for is your husband. That means you must present to him the best of you. So ain't no journey. Like now is the journey. Because when people say, well, I'm on my journey, you know what they're saying?
They're working on it. Like.
Yeah. That means I'm on a journey. And guess what? No one says when they talk about they're on a journey when that journey ends.
That's true.
And true. This is how you tell everyone. This is how you tell everybody that, you know what I mean, don't have any expectations because I'm on my journey. Nah, what you got to do, sister, is set what? You must set a limit with deadlines on everything you expect from yourself. By this time, I'm going to be this, and this is what I'm going to do to get there. Deadlines. You're not on a journey. You have deadlines. And through that deadline, this is the weight I'm going to be. This is where my mind is going to be. This is where my spirit is going to be by this date. Because a journey isn't with a deadline. And I say the same thing with my sons, because my sons come to me talking about what their journeys are, with their hands in my pocket, talking about their journey. No, I'm gonna need to know, right? When does this journey end? So that journey comes with a deadline, because while you on your journey, I'm going to my pockets and I'm shaking hands with you. Okay? No. Okay? So journeys, that's just a easy way of saying, well, listen, I'll fix it down the line. You must do everything with a deadline. You got that?
Yes, sir. And one more thing. So do you think that I could either maybe talk to you or Elder Lawya about a certain thing offline? Is there like any way that I could get like a personal contact with the both of y'all, or either one of y'all?
Absolutely. GOCCSouth@yahoo.com.
Because I emailed Elder Lawya and he hasn't responded back yet.
Okay,
So,
hold on. Let me. Okay, I have Lawya call you, okay?
thank you so much, Elder.
All right, you're welcome. Get on it, and not on your journey. A deadline.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Miss.
All right, bless you.
Shalom.
I'm on my journey. By the time you get off that, we'll be in the wilderness. Danita Akins, you can let yourself go now, sister. Yeah, she's a nice, sweet young lady. Danita Akins. Someone says I don't hate black men. I just be mad when he do something disrespectful. Hey, listen. Hey, sister, please make sure there's no feedback there.
Yeah, I muted it, Elder. Shalom.
Sister, let me tell you. I'm talking to them real quick. Let me tell you. You don't hate men, but you hate when a man does something disrespectful. Let me tell you something. let me hold up. Let me. Hey, Danita, mute your mic real quick. Danita.
All right, I got you.
There's some talks back there. It's like this. We're living in a world where a man can't be a man without him coming off or being deemed disrespectful. Okay? And that's the world we live in today, this politically correct world where a man can't be a man. What people call disrespect today, back when I was coming up, it was a man standing his ground. Now, if a man is being disrespectful, unlawful according to God, that's something different. If you're talking about that, that ain't what I'm saying. But they have made it in right now in this world where a man who knows what he wants with full assurance and confidence, they're making people believe that something is wrong with a person being like that. That's not a disrespectful man. Man, let me tell you, when Christ returns, a lot of people are going to feel disrespected. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay? Let me put it that way. Danita, you can unmute.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Elder. Blessed by the best. You know, this is an excellent topic because, like I said, I've been watching the world uncrumble since COVID and since before then. But to answer your question, I think it's always been black women had a disdain for their men.
Why?
Underneath.
Why?
And why? Because we looked at the men as they had the power over us. You know what I'm saying? Like when we got into position and, you know, where we were put in position to speak our mind.
Yeah.
What we started saying to each other now is out there because of social media, because of these platforms, because of, you know, jobs gave us that leg up, and because of everything that's transpired throughout time since they put the black man under their foot, mainly. Black women are like, yes, I'm finally on top. But we're not realizing we're not great without him.
Oh, hold on.
We're not great without it.
Hold on. So okay. So here's some okay. So now we're hearing the what was always thought in silence.
Exactly.
Right? So they get give it to me again. They get a position and say now
they get a position.
Now we got the power.
Now we got the power.
Okay.
And they on now they can actually say how they feeling, how they been feeling. Yes, I got one up over you.
That's interesting.
So, but the funny thing is,
so are you saying, because I'm new to this, right? You know, I'm a simple man. I'm a Bible man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are you saying that our sisters are knowingly in competition with their men?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Interesting.
And now that they can be in competition, and now that they are on top, they don't want to come down from that position.
So but I don't think it have come to their senses that women cannot compete with men.
Exactly.
I mean, they can compete, but they'll lose.
They'll lose, exactly, every time.
Okay, so all right. So I think we're getting somewhere here.
Mm-hmm.
So they finally get an opportunity in the corporate world or with an education to say, okay, I finally have a position where I can exude authority over the black man. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now you got that. Okay. Yep. Now everything comes with a trade-off.
Yes.
So if you accomplish that, what is the trade-off? What is the consequences? What do you lose by achieving a position above a man? We know what you win. You get the opportunity to say, okay, I'm finally over him. But what do you lose?
I don't think they thought about that.
I'm going to tell you what they lose. The man.
Exactly.
That's what they lose. They'll look to their left and their right, and there's no man around, not a man worth his salt. Because what man would be with a woman who seeks to compete with him? Men fight the world. Men excel over other men just to give the world to the woman. So you would rather fight to get on top of something to lose the man and not have the man who would beat the world for you and give it to you anyway. That's utterly insane.
It is.
That's insanity. So you did all this fighting. Oh yeah, a lot of people ask me about that woman this senator who got all these degrees or whatever that case is, and the white man come to her and say, well, listen, vaccines are really destroying black children, and now she's showboating in front of him. And guess what? There's no man to be found for this woman.
Yeah.
So that's the trade-off. The trade-off, if you get the authority of a man, but guess what? No real man is going to get with a woman who wants to be one.
Exactly.
A man who's attracted to a man is, according to the Bible, is a sodomite, a homosexual. So if a woman is seeking to compete with a man, there's no wonder a real man won't be found 10 miles, in her proximity. But go ahead, I'll give you the last word.
So since you said that, Elder,
listen. I don't want to hear that lie and all that garbage about men don't lead. That's why women need to take the charge. Let me tell you, they ran that one in a hole, and that was a lie the whole time. That was a lie the whole time. Men won't lead if men can't lead if there's a fight for the power position.
Exactly.
Now 10, 15 years, 20 years ago, guess what? They could use that. But now that we see all these women in men positions now, that was a conscious choice. We're seeing what they always wanted. It had nothing to do with whether or not men could lead. Because look at all these women in political positions. And I need you to look at all the black men and other men who ran against them. Now understand that. There was men in position to lead because they had to what? They had to get the votes over the men to get in position. Those men were on the ballots to lead their communities. So I don't want to hear this crap about men don't want to lead. That's a lie they've been using for years. Well, we had to lead because men wouldn't. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. Okay, and we're not accepting it anymore. And the only way to know if they're men for the position to lead is what? Would be if the women would just back up out of the positions so that men can take them. That's the only way to find out. Guess what? Nothing's going to change. The world ain't going to end overnight and all that. Step out of position and see if men take the positions. That's the only way to figure it out. If you want to figure out whether or not a man will lead, Step back and submit. And then see the outcome. You can't fight for a power position, then claim the person you're fighting with for the power position, claim that, well, I'm doing it because this person isn't a leader. No, you are fighting his power. So guess what? We have the data is in. That's another lie that's out there, that women are stepping in position because men can't lead or don't want to lead. Lie.
Con.
What else you have to say?
I was going to say, my husband said exactly that last week, that men want to lead, but there's so many women want to be men that men just throw their hands up now. And they say, you want to lead, go ahead.
Well, no, listen, I don't know about some man that want to lead, okay? I don't know what that looks like, okay? Right. Okay. Listen, if I can't lead, right, then you're the one that won't be led, all right? It's cool. But I'm going to lead whether you're being led by me or not, okay? So I don't know what that conversation about a man who want to lead. Okay. If you sitting there trying to fight with a woman for leadership, then guess what? She's the leader. Period. Okay. There's no power struggle here. All right. So the whole thing is, all these men talking about, babe, why can't you let me lead? Lord have mercy. Okay. Nah. That's spiritual transgenderism.
All praises, Elder.
All right.
That's all I got to say.
All right. Bless you, sister. You can let yourself out.
Yes.
Yeah, I just came up with a word. I said that's spiritual transgenderism. Lord, in the morning time. Let yourself out, please.
All right. All I got to say. All right. Bless you, sister. You can let yourself out. Yeah, I just came up with a word.
Okay, let me.
I said that's spiritual.
Okay. All right, we got Hyman Yasha'Allah. Hyman Yasha'Allah. How you doing?
My elder.
How you doing, sir? Good to see you.
Elder Rawchaa, my elder. Double honors to you, saying all the elders.
All blessings to you, my brother. How are you? Look like you out working. Where you at?
Yeah, I'm in the truck. You know, I'm in Pittsburgh right now.
Oh, I can see you. I can see you. All right. All right. Talk to me.
Elder, you cracking me up. Oh, man, all praises, Elder. It's a beautiful broadcast. You know, elders always come with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And you know, man got to be led by men first. You have to be a follower before you become a leader.
That's true.
You know, and then that's when us as leaders now, we bringing things back into perspective of where things should be. And, you know, and all praises to all the works you've done, Elder. And the Most High is really using the gathering of Christ Church. We believe that.
Well, blessings, brother. I see you on the truck, in your truck. I probably get my other brother that always he's driving a truck. He's driving trucks. Because one thing about driving trucks out there, I got my brother Banash, but I have him come on. One thing I know about people who drive trucks is the fact that you can tell when the landscape is changing, when something is going on and there's a major change. With you driving coast to coast or in different cities, you're starting to see Well, I would say this: truck drivers are the first to see when there's a transition within society, when something is about to happen or the landscape has changed. What's going on with the migrant thing in these certain areas since Trump been in position? Have you noticed a change?
I would say yes, Elder. I would say that even in Ohio, because I go to Ohio a lot, I would see certain migrants in the streets, but now I barely see them. And now I barely do coast to coast like I used to, because I used to be over the road, but now I only do regional. Okay. And I used to see a lot on the road, Elder. I remember one time you're doing a broadcast talking about military, and I'm videotaping a train full of tanks. I think I was in, I forgot which state I was at. But yeah, a lot of things you're saying, we've seen it out there. And it's me and a couple other brothers out there too doing this. But there is a change, and you can see the countenance of the people out there. You can see that the vaccine is working. You can see that, like you were saying earlier, our sisters are, man, we need help. We need help, Elder. We need serious help.
I'm starting to see, speaking of our sisters, we got to talk about this. Also, there's a large number of our people, our sisters in particular, that are going homeless now.
Yeah.
So this is intentional, them putting out our sisters. They're about to try to snatch Section 8 eventually.
Yes, sir.
I mean, without the government assistance, what is going to come of our sisters?
That's a very great question, Elder. Right now, the only hope for our sisters is humble themselves and come to Christ and be led by men, righteous men of the Most High, because eventually the clock is running out.
I believe that what's going on is going to humble. It's going to be a humbling that's going to actually, lead to sisters once and for all saying, you know what? We've been duped. Okay, this feminist crap, all this other crap, this baddie thing, this thing of I got my own. Who are we lying to? Everything is being taken away, and when the camera's off, and when TikTok is off, I'm struggling. I'm going to humble myself before the Almighty and submit to a man. The standard is a man. That's going to be the standard. Yes, the standard is going to be a man. Okay, that's what it's going to come to. And I one thing about our people, we're loving and we're forgiving. It's just respect is due. It's time to respect one another. And it's time for us to humble ourselves. And sisters going to say, you know what? The Bible tell you they're going to say it. Isaiah the 3rd chapter, Isaiah the 4th chapter. They're going to be like, listen, hey, take away my, I'll bring my own bread. I'll bring my own food. Listen, just protect me. Nix that. All this fronting for the gram and fronting so that everybody can see, that my life is all this competing in the on the internet and social media. No, they're gonna make, listen, I'm gonna need someone to protect me for the sake of survival. Nix this. The government is snatching everything away intentionally, right? I'm gonna tell you, LGBTQ has turned on our sisters. As long as our sisters were standing for whatever the Democrats were saying, then they was all behind black sisters. Now that Trump is in office, LGBTQ is blaming the black community, and they're throwing the sisters out now. So sisters gonna have to just humble themselves and say, you know what? I'm coming back to the Almighty, and now I'm ready to submit to my man, Nixon. And I'm gonna tell you, here's the reality, sisters, because I lived, maybe I'm telling my age. We were operating before the internet, and there'll be life after the internet. Okay, why am I saying this? A man in position to take care of things, he comes with what? He comes with rules. Okay, listen to what I'm saying. A man that has integrity, that stands for something, that has a plan, comes with rules. Right? What rules like what? Okay. If you're going to be a wife of a man of means, there can be no Instagram. Okay? If you're a professional, you got LinkedIn and things like that if you have to do things online. But a real man ain't going to have his woman with a woman where his woman have access, or other men have access to his woman and can drop in and talk to his woman at any time. That's not the real world. Okay? So a real man set the line when it comes to what a woman can set a line to where a woman cannot cross. You don't need Instagram. No. Okay? Now, if you want to be online with no pictures or nothing, and go see what other people are doing, and there's no pictures or nothing, and you just want to be on somewhere to pass the time, that's something different. You want to see a TikTok video, that's on you. But you cannot have an internet footprint. See? There's rules. There's rules, because when you expose yourself, you lead your man to have to defend against something he has nothing to do with. He have to defend you and protect you. Well, he can't do that if you're all over the place. You're taking away his power to defend you. Okay? So men comes with what? A man that can protect you all the way through this, he comes with a line you can't cross. And the internet is one of those. Thank you, my brother. You got the last word.
Bless you, Elder. Bless you, all the elders, bishops, deacon officers. We got to finish strong, and that's what we're doing. And I have no words. I have no words, Elder.
And I'm going to tell you, brother, thank you. And you can let yourself out real quick, and I can say this. And this is how you know it's deeper than money. When it comes into the burden of Eve, it came down to Eve. Her greatest curse was the spirit of carnality that overcame her. And it lets you know something, because you can have a rich person with everything a man could want, like Kanye West, even though I don't know what's going on with that guy right now. He got his woman to run around just butt naked. He's just off the horse. And, hey, the only thing he ever said right is that we're Israel. But anyway, anytime a rich person can get online and say, the gram got our women. He says, listen, Kim Kardashian is not my woman. The gram got my woman. Why? Because it's the spirit of carnality. The attention that it gives you is irreplaceable when it comes to people who seek idols, who seek attention. So a man would have to cut that off. Like, nah, you don't, all the attention, I'm the attention. And that's it on that. You don't, if you need attention beyond me, then I'm the wrong guy. Okay? That's it on that. Okay? We don't need no pictures. We don't need you with your friends. We don't need to see whether or not this place got a different season on your curly fries. We don't need you sipping a daiquiri. Zero. All your attention right here. That's it on that. See? And see, and that's where men are losing. I'm going to tell you that right now, because what? A leader isn't going to allow his woman to have access or have other men with access to their women like that. Their woman like that. Okay? And I'll tell you, out there, you got some women out there be like, listen, even though they get nothing from it, they'll choose the Instagram over their relationship, because the Instagram make them believe that there's an infinite line of men they can choose from that really doesn't exist. How you doing, Ashley? Unmute, please.
I'm doing Shalom. Shalom, Elder.
Shalom. How you doing, Ashley?
Shalom. I'm okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but your internet is hurting.
Is it?
No, it's better now. Talk to me. Where you from?
I'm from Detroit.
Okay, the Motor City. All right, talk to me.
Yes, sir. I just would like to
do women hate men, especially the black men?
No.
Tell the truth.
No,
now.
they
Tell the
do
truth.
not.
Come on now.
They don't. We want to see our men at the very top, and we know about the curses, but women don't hate our men. I just think it'll take time for us to train up our daughters as such, and continue to, fight for the kingdom in that way. I don't think that right now this should be like a topic, and I just believe that it differs from you, and I've been watching you for so long, but I think it's the brotherhood that's where it starts.
Well, let me ask you this. There was a video out there. I'll probably go over it this coming Friday, right? A woman calls into a broadcast, right? And says she's looking for a man, right? Interesting. So some questions happen. Questions like, well, okay, you have a child. Well, yeah, I got a son. All right. She got a degree, master's. And then the real questions happen. Well, what about the man you were with? Right? Well, he's a janitor and he really doesn't want more in life. So we grew out of love. Right? We grew out of love. He's a janitor, father of my child. I have a master's, and he don't have any ambition. So then there was further questions. Well, how much college debt do you have? Well, currently it's $80,000, not counting interest if I don't pay it on time, right? And then the questions got real nice, right? Well, okay. Based on the age of your child, you must have been with the child's father, who's a janitor. Yes. Well, while you were getting your master's, who was paying the bills? And she said, my child's father, my husband that I divorced. They were married. So his janitor position was good enough to take you through college. But once you got a college degree, you became too high for him. It was him making $22 an hour, working overtime to get you through school and pay the rent at the same time. And no soon as you get your degree, you grow out of him and say, well, listen, I can do better. He don't have the ambition like I want my life as the ambition I see for the life and the future of me and my son. What's wrong with that picture? How did she grow out of a man? How did she grow out of a man who loved the ground she walked on, who put her through school? Maybe. And now she get a degree and get among some people who make her think that she's too good for that man who took care of her. And the Bible says you reap what you sow. How do you expect to have anything good come out of any relationship or with any man that's worth his salt if he hear this story concerning that man? And I don't think women understand how men think about other men. There's a respect factor there. That man may be a janitor, but he's a damn good man. And you know what? And when I heard it, it comes to a conclusion that we've been naive to some degree as men. How can you go publicly and put your face out there for the world to see and say that man wasn't good enough who put me through school? I grew out. We grew apart because he didn't have no ambition. He swept floors and scrubbed toilets to get your behind through school for you and your child to have a better life. And no sooner you get the education that can help with that, you kick him to the curb. Man, we're going to have us some discussions this spring, but go on, sister.
Well, it's unfortunate that something like that happened. The woman had a husband. I don't know if she was in the truth or not. She know what it meant to have a husband.
Oh no!
I don't know.
No. This ain't happening nowhere in the truth. I'm just saying, this is the mindset of what's out there.
I'm sorry, but I do agree that everything that is out there is terrible. I really do think it starts with our youth. Honestly, as we've waken up, and I've been listening to you since like 2013 or so, I think that it's nothing that we can really do but teach our children. And I think, honestly, just that the brotherhood should stop doing what that one scripture said it does. You all do is be evil towards one another. I believe when you all get angry and start to fight for what you all deserve, then we will definitely fall in line. We want to see the best for you all. I'm so sorry that this society has made us be as we are, but it was all just to blind us. And I don't think it has any right or wrong right now. I just think that we should think about the future as a revolution to try, like I say, 10 years or younger. Well, that's when they need to.
So let's talk about that, because we're all grown here. We know the law. We understand this world is getting worse and worse. Okay, it's like this: the men aren't budging, and the women aren't budging. It's at a standstill. Mm-hmm. It's at a standoff at this point, right? Mm. So now there is no budge. The war is coming. So at the end of this, what you're saying is we need to set our sights on the next generation who want to listen.
Yes, because I really don't think that trying to change a bunch of us is going to get us there any faster.
Well,
I'm sorry, this is just me.
There will be some change. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The kingdom is for a few. Let me tell you, the Most High called all of us out of the world into the law. And when we began to compare what we thought was right with the laws of God, we came up wanting, right? And we began to say, you know what? Our conscience led us to say, you know what? I need to change. So there is hope for some, but Babylon is done.
So let our people go.
Sister, that's hard.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's just that hard, but you are strong enough.
See, but we have these conversations so that moment can happen. It can resonate to where one individual will hear it and say, you know what? I'm the one that'll make the change. So if we just throw our hands up, even though it's frustration to a degree, it's therapy to talk it out, right? So like when I say, if it's okay, it's all done, let's pack up. Okay, let's shut everything down and let's not teach no more. Let's just go ahead about our business and, nah. Somebody got to stand at the watchtower and have these conversations, how hard they are. And I know, let me tell you, and a lot of sisters are saying, well, what about the men? What about the men? What about the men? And guess what? I can understand you saying that. But you got to think about how many decades it was all bad men, bad men, bad men, bad men. And now it's swinging the other way and say, okay, men have taken in the fact that we're this, we're that, right? We're all that. We've accepted that. And a lot of us have become better because of those criticisms. You never heard a man when people were saying men weren't this, that, and the other. You didn't have no men saying, no, we're not. You're not telling the truth. Men owned it. So now it's swinging the other way now. Where if the shoe fits, don't try to deflect it by saying, well, what about the men? When men been hearing how horrible we were for decades. And I don't believe women could accept what the world was saying about us. So the whole deal is, it's time for sisters to say, you know what? Some of what we've allowed have gone too far. That have nothing to do with men.
They might have to be cut off.
Listen, no, that have nothing to do with men. What we have allowed as women have gone too far, and that has nothing to do with men. We have to fix this as women, as daughters of Zion. That's fair, right?
We're still trying to make it in this world too. So it's just like, how are we going to build the order back the way it's supposed to be? All I ask you guys to do is, no matter who don't like it, bind together and literally put your money together. How hard is that? It's super hard. But I know how hard it is. I understand that part, but until we can be all taken care of everything that's in our circle, and everything on the outside of our circle, or it's going to try to continue to destroy us.
Well, what we can do, at least within the church, is build that environment, build that culture, show the example, at least amongst us, that the truth according to God when it comes to community and family still exists amongst the children of Israel. And see, in the heavens, the Most High doesn't need a lot. He only needs a few that's willing to stand for him, and he'll make a nation out of the few. So that's what we're here for. That's what the church is here for. But you know what? Christ says what? He says he sent us out as fishers of men. So even though we're speaking to each other, we're not in an echo chamber. I know there's people that have nothing to do with the Bible who are still, questioning whether or not the Bible exists. I know they're listening to these broadcasts. And they're looking for solutions. Even if they don't believe everything we believe, they're out there. So these conversations is so that, like Christ said, be fishers of men, we just throw that line in the water, which is the world, and say, listen, if you take a bite and come in, right, eventually you're going to see it's good and dry here on the ark. So this is why we have these conversations, not just the scriptural conversations. We all things to all men, women too, that we could gain a few, to let you know that we are relatable. We hear what's out there. And I understand it's in us, all of us, God's people, those who believe, to fix what we can before Christ returns. And that's what these conversations are for. We're not giving up on each other. If we were giving up on each other, then we would even care that our community have went to nothing. We would just allow it just to, to burn up in ashes. If we didn't care, we would just look at it and just ignore it. But to talk about it proves we're concerned. It proves there's still love for God's people, even if they refuse to love themselves. So, sister, no, we don't just give up. Okay? Well, let me tell you, just like the elders up there, they are beseeching the Father to bring judgment. How long? How long? They're even talking about it. How long? Mm-hmm. So maybe if we disturb the heavens and worry the Most High, he'll even send Christ and end this thing. So let's do it. So, sister, we're going to talk about it. And as long as there's breath, we're going to complain about it. And not only that, we're going to set a church to set an example and a haven so that we can come together and work towards the kingdom of heaven.
Yes. Yes, Elder.
You right? And guess what? Men cannot do it without the women, and the women cannot do it without the men. Okay? Nope. And it can't happen. So the whole thing is, it's time for sisters to temper their expectations right now and get in order before the war comes. It is. It's time. Thank you, sister.
One thing before I go.
Yes.
I need baptism. I've already talked with Elder Dale about it.
Yeah.
I kind of want baptism right now, but because I haven't been baptized since a kid, and that was in the name of Jesus. So.
Okay. You talked to Elder Dale, get baptized. What you waiting for?
Huh?
You talked to Elder Dale, right?
What am I waiting on? Talk to him. That's right. I emailed him back, and I gotta make sure I get baptized. I want to get baptized.
Did he call you?
No, he didn't call, but I know where he at. I've met him in person before, so no worries. I'll get in touch with him.
Thank you. Get it done.
Okay.
All right. Shalom.
Yes. Shalom, and thank you so much. Today is a blessed day. Thank you.
All right. And let me tell y'all something. What do y'all see the calendar? You can let yourself out, sister. What do y'all see the calendar for this year's holy day calendar that we have for the church? It is outstanding. All praises be to the Most High. Man, it captures the essence, the spirit of the 12 tribes, and we're using pictures from a lot of different holy days for this particular calendar to show forth not just God's people, but the Gentiles, but more so it's a 12 tribes theme. And Lord have mercy, is it such a beautiful thing. And so when you see the unity, let me tell you, you can't fake this type of unity and love that you'll view on this particular calendar. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm talking about families, brothers, sisters, unified in the spirit of the Almighty, unselfish, just true people. I thank the Most High for the members of this church. And okay, so when we bring things out and we talk things out publicly, people shouldn't take anything personal. We're putting it out there because it's not just us hearing the truth. It's people in the world who are struggling, looking for their way, right? Looking for their way. And guess what? The first step in all of this, man and woman, is if you come to the Most High, know that what? You must know that a change is necessary. That's the only way we'll receive the kingdom. Elder Lawya, you there? Or you sleep?
Yes, sir.
Did you sleep yet? Because I know this past your nap time.
Yes, sir. Well, I've been up for going almost 24 hours, so I'm hanging in there, but I'm up.
Okay. Right now you're leaning. Well, I'll tell you this. Well, I thank you, brother. I thank you for this, and I just want one scripture where the Most High says that when He bring you, when He call you, we must prepare ourselves for temptation and endure when we're brought low. And that comes with what? That comes with facing ourselves. So when I bring this stuff out about men and women and all that, it's so that we can look in ourselves and see if any of that vanity or carnality is in us. We must recognize it exists and say, you know what? I'm willing to be brought low. And from that point, have the Most High reshape me in Christ's image. That I'm willing to swallow all pride. I'm willing to throw away what I thought this life would be, so that the Most High can give me a life fit for the kingdom to come. And that's what it comes down to. Swallowing our pride and our carnality and do what? Fall under the order of the Almighty. That's what it comes down to. Elder Lawya, if you can get that for me real quick, and we'll read that and we'll end it for this evening.
Yes, sir. We're in the book of Sirach, the 2nd chapter and the 1st verse.
Thank you, sir. Sirach, the 2nd chapter and the 1st verse. Let's get it. Let me get it here. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. Sirach 2:1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
That means prepare thy soul for temptation. So when you go to serve the Lord, prepare for the devil to try to do what? Tempt you out of this contrite walk with the Almighty. Okay? This serious agreement. The whole world is going to claim, well, listen, don't do that. That's not you. You're in a cult. What's happening with you? They'll play on what? Your pride. But if you come to serve the Most High, understand that He's going to strip everything away. And when it comes to men, He'll strip you bare with nothing. Finances, houses, no matter what it is, He'll take it all away and build you back the way He would like, if the Most High see fit. When it comes to women, I'm going to tell you right now, prepare yourself to be bare. Not how you present yourself before the world. Okay? Because when the Most High, when Christ see you, He don't see the eyelashes. He don't see the makeup. He don't see the nails. He don't see what you're covering yourself with. He know the person behind all the aesthetics. And you know that person too, that you've been hiding for whatever reason. So at the end, you're going to be brought low. It's going to be us before the Almighty and Him. Nothing in between. Set thy heart aright. Read.
and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble.
And don't run while the Most High is taking you through the change. You're not going to like yourself. Like, this ain't me. I don't like this. But nah, you're going to have to go all the way through it, because what? Christ is purging something out of you. He's purging out the person that would normally lead that body to hell. So when we talk about, well, this is not the way I am, I've always done things this way, well, this is me, that person has to go. Okay? That person has to go. This me, it's about me, it's about me. Well, you're going to have to, nah. That person has to go. Christ destroys that person in the water, and what comes out of the water is one that's gifted with the Holy Spirit. And with the Spirit, that Spirit can examine the carnal person you used to be in. And you'll look at that person and say, you know what? With the Holy Spirit, I don't like that person that was me. I need to put that person in subjection. See? Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Read.
Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
At the last end. Read.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate.
Be patient when thou change to a low estate. Because the Most High will try you. He will bring you down. Certain things you won't get intentionally, so that the Most High see how you go through adversity. Are you going to now sell out, compromise your morality due to a low circumstance because your bills can't get paid? Are you going to do something immoral, or are you going to what? Endure through it and have the Most High find a way through the enduring? Or will you compromise your body? Will you compromise your soul to get out of one jam? See? Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Be like, okay, Lord, the devil have given me an option, a get out of jail free card real quick if I take it, but I'm compromising my relationship with you. And be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. You think you're losing something, but it's the Most High reshaping you, so that when he start bringing you back up, it's in his son's image. See how it works? Why? Read.
For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
Those who is accepted by the Most High, gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. See? You think you're going through adversity because you're cursed. No. It's the Most High refining you through these, because you have learning experiences to show your children and others, to teach them how to get out of adverse situations without compromising themselves. You got an experience to lead people through this maze of adversity. And it's your sacrifice going through it, coming out, shining on the other side as that example. But if you run in the midst of the refining, then where's the experience to show people the faith that comes in believing with the Most High, going through adversity, and to stand above all those who said you couldn't do it without compromising yourself morally. For gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So when we go through adversity, the Most High is sitting back, waiting, looking at you and seeing what is he or she going to do in the midst of this conflict? Are they going to stay trusted in me, or are they going to compromise their morality? What we must do, last verse, Elder Lawya.
Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him.
Read.
Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall.
There it is.
Ye that fear...
There it is. Read.
Yes, sir. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail.
Your reward shall not fail. Yes, yes, yes. We're living in a world of civil unrest, enemies within, father against son, mother against daughter, man against woman. Who will persevere through it all to stand with our Lord and Savior at the very end, where he will reward every individual who stood through the adversity, saying what? My humble servants, job well done. Well, folks, that's all on us. That's all on us. So I pull out these videos a day and say, listen, the truth is out there. We must protect everyone because the politicians don't care about us. These people out there, the pastors and preachers out there don't care about us. We must what? Take the full responsibility in our hands. The data is out there concerning even the white man. Esau is coming out. Robert Kennedy is saying, well, listen, there's a study showing that black children aren't supposed to be having all these shots like these other people. And it's time for you to stand up and protect your children from the bioweapons. It's time for man to stand in order and lead their families with the word of God. And it's time for women to do what? Step from any position not given them from their husband when it comes to the order in the house, and submit to the husband and be a helpmeet to the husband. Now, that's not saying a woman can't work. Women have always worked. That's not saying a woman can't get a degree. No one wants a dumb person. Okay? We've always worked. But we must be in order with one another. And above all, we must stay in order with our God. I'm Elder Rawchaa, signing off until Friday, Patreon. I will be there for Patreon. We're going to do a phone call thing. We're going to do a few reviews, and we're going to do some Zoom. And yes, the Hebrew and Bible Academy will be coming up June 16th. June 16th is a new academy. And yes, the theme is the war of the gods, the origin of angels, the reason Adam fell, the true understanding of the Antichrist, the true doctrine of the Gentiles, and we're going to do a lesson on the lost books, highlighting the Testament of Solomon, and after that, the Apocalypse of Paul. That and more. If you would like to be a part of this academy, go to historytimes.org to enroll. We have enrollments around the clock, gathering. You go to historytimes.org right here. You click on that. You go right here. It gives you all the information. And you go right here. You click here to enroll. Pop. Boom. Right there. Okay, and get your Sunday dose. Every Sunday is class day. Elder Lawya with the Hebrew. Shapat and I, we deal with real-time news through a biblical perspective, and then your lessons. You click on the lesson, you get your personal PDFs. All these are no different than textbooks, and we dive into the Word of the Almighty and learn the true doctrine according to the Almighty, the true doctrine of the Bible. Go to historytimes.org to enroll. Elder Lawya, you have a great night. You need some sleep, young man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You do the same.
And this is what happens, young man, when I say that I need you to just give me a night off.
Done. Yes, sir.
With that, stay strong, young man, and get some rest, all right?
All right. Yes, sir. You do the same.
All right. And we're working on a brand new music project, so keep your ear to the ground on that. With that, I'm going to say, may the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up. Sin not. We will soon see Israel. That's right. We're the children of Israel. And we're back. Good night.
Together our wives and children that sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. Together us in Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans, Ahai's gathering Israel. Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians. I is gathering in Israel. Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be. Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians, Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominican.